Hello, people. How are you doing today? My name is Lee Cole 3, and I'm here with James Proctor. James, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing okay, Lee. Not too bad.
Well, people, today I was going to do it was 2 years ago today that this show, that we started this show. I did my first show with my son, and a lot of things have changed and happened, but I'm going to put that show to the side now because this is more important to talk about. And we're going to talk about a guy named Chad Doerman. And he quite possibly may be the most evil man that I've ever heard of. James, we're on here talking about gangsters all the time, gangsters that do really bad things to each other. Every once in a while, you have a gangster step out of the box and kill a woman.
Hmm.
Very rarely would you ever hear about a child being murdered. So, Chad Doorman is, to me, more evil than any of these gangsters. James, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I really do. As we go through this, to me, it just, as a father of three girls, and you, Lee, you have children as well. One of our roles as fathers is to protect our children, and they look up to us. We're there to protect them, take care of them, and when you see a coward piece of crap like this guy, Chad, and there's no excuse. The
And we're
sick.
going to show and we're going to show a couple of videos. But first, before we do that, I want to put up the GoFundMe page for the family. You have to remember this: the wife, uh, she got shot, almost had her hand blown off because she was trying to protect one of her boys. And there is a page up, a GoFundMe page that her sister is it her sister who put it up?
Yeah, yeah, it's her sister that put it up, Rachel Brown, and so that's where, in fact, what we're doing today is, we're not accepting donations for this
Absolutely
show.
not. No donations for this show, please, because uh, making money off something like this just is not the right thing
Yeah,
to do.
right. Donate to the if you
To the
want to
GoFundMe
donate.
page.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and it's out there, people. We'll put the link to the GoFundMe page underneath here. And now, we're going to get in, people. Just so you know, this is a very sensitive subject. Some people may not want to hear it. We're warning you ahead of time because we're going to play the video when the police arrived. It's just so you understand. And this poor, you have to understand when this man executed these three boys, he chased one into the woods and brought him back and executed them, and he wanted the mother and the stepsister, the stepdaughter, to live
Hmm.
because he wanted them to suffer the rest of their lives with these images.
Yes.
When you think about, and James, didn't they say he was planning it too?
Yeah, it's been for 3 months. He was planning this, is what we're seeing in media reports, and it's just sickening. This is something that's planned. It wasn't, even if I know some people do things off the, I guess not. That's not
Anger, yeah, you
premeditated.
know what?
Yeah,
But
but
I
still,
very, you hear anger, you hear about parents killing children, but this was so methodically done. This was like when one of the boys ran away, and he chased them down and dragged them back to the property so the wife can witness the third
right.
son being killed.
Yeah, one of the things that typically happen, and this has happened not to this degree, but you've had certain situations similar. And usually, what happens is that you got kids that are sick or suffering, and the parents are wanting to, they just, whatever. But in this case, these kids played baseball. They were great kids. They were well liked. There's no excuse any kind for a child to be hurt,
No
but
excuse. Yeah, there's no excuse toward any violence of any
no.
type of violence. And this is one of those. The neighbors said the guy was a bully. He was always yelling at the kids, continuously yelling at the wife. They could hear him all the time doing this, and she was in a very abusive uh, life. And for anybody that says, "Oh, why did she stay?" People, she has four children. Okay, she is. Why do domestic battery people stay? Did this guy had no record, did he?
No, he didn't have any record. He did get arrested in 2010, or at least charged in 2010 with domestic violence with his father, but it was dismissed. So there's no record of him, but just saying there was an arrest in 2010. You know, we don't know what happened, but his father's still alive and said
His
it got
father is
dismissed.
devastated. His father cannot believe this has happened. Not only does he devastate this woman, her family, but he's also passed on to his father the sin of having that Chad for a son.
Yeah.
And you know, people, I want you to see stuff. This man was so selfish. Instead of blowing his head off, which he should have done,
That's what he should have done.
we're going to show you what he did right now. We're not going to talk about it. We're going to show you what a
Yeah.
coward this man is.
And he's not even a man, in my opinion. He's just
No.
a piece of crap, you know.
And just so people know, he's being held on $20 million bail, which is unheard of. And the reason he's being held on $20 million bail is because 3 family members of his were willing to come up with a very large payment to get that dude out of jail. And can you imagine that? I mean, family members,
Yeah.
why would you even bother? I don't care.
Only way I would do it is if I could get him out and then beat the crap out of him, kill him.
Don't say nothing. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So, you know, we can't say that on this show.
Okay.
But, you know, yes, somebody could possibly pay $20 million. That's insane like that. But
yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, he needs to, you know, he's not getting out, and so they're going to you go to, I believe his next court date's in July, mid July. So, you know,
I just think, you know, he devastated both sides of his family. I mean, these poor little babies, these beautiful little baby boys, and the way this happened. And from what I understand, also, let me get this down, and I'm going to get up our next video. But what I understand also, the cops that showed up at the scene, one of them's not back to work. And the traumatic effect on those police officers arrived. When they arrived, they found bodies all over, 3 bodies in the front yard, right by him.
Yeah, his execution style. And they, yeah, I mean, exactly.
And he had the rifle next to him.
Had the rifle next to him. And then he's worried about his, this is uncomfortable when he's arrested. And, you know, can I stand up? You know,
we're going to show that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's stop the screen here, and we're going to pull up the next one. And people, you don't have to watch this if you don't want to.
No.
Please, it could be very sensitive to some people. Okay. Okay, here we go, people. And this is the cops pulling up to the scene.
Where's he at?
He's shooter's on the porch.
Get him right here. You got him on the porch.
We've asked. That's the last place we've been told.
You show me your hands now! Stand up and walk towards us! Stand up now! Walk towards us! Stand up with your hands up!
We got a visual in the mail. Not showing his hands, not following commands.
Stand up now!
Not showing hands or following commands. His name is CHAD DOERMAN. CHAD DOERMAN.
I know, but we can't.
If people need first aid and he's not complying, you know he's a shooter, shoot him.
We gotta find cover first. We ain't no good if we ain't safe ourselves.
You're muted.
If you just heard that they said shoot the shooter if you have to, because they know the bodies, they know that there are injured people on the front lawn at this point. So they've already been given the orders, shoot him if you have to. So these guys are prepared to shoot him.
Hey, no. We need to come from this side where we can see him. Don't take cover behind her. We see him. We're going to approach from this side. We got cover. Right here.
6 number 29 and 63 attack that.
Show us your fucking hands now. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up now. Stand up.
Just so you know, the black squares that are here are used to cover up the boys' bodies. So at this moment, the police know that these boys are down and they see them. So you can imagine the effect it has on these guys when they're on the property to arrest this guy.
Stand the fuck up.
EMS is staged and air clear. Going to go ahead and fly whenever any units can advise.
Get your hands out of here.
72.
Come over 21. It's in there.
Those guys can confirm that there's people that need first aid, and that's the shooter. He's not complying. They need to take care of the
I got it.
victims. They have to shoot him and shoot him.
Man, I ain't trying to hurt nobody. I'm completely sober. Never did drugs a day
63,
in my
we're
life.
21. Get the
You see the cop in the background. He's over one of the boys' bodies. And you're going to hear the mother. She's going to be at the door screaming about her children because she knows what has happened. And very, very sad, people.
EMS over here.
Well, I did drugs when I was little, but I don't do drugs now. I'm sober. I'm not trying to fight you. Gatlin,
63.
get your butt inside. Gatlin, get your butt inside.
We on primary?
Now.
29, we got 3
Main.
down.
Gatlin.
63, we're 21. Have EMS respond over here.
You're clear. They're being advised.
Robert 34 just started mass custody response.
63, do you want them to respond to the Laurel Lindale address? Where exactly do you need them?
We're right in the front yard. What are you doing, man?
Hey, pretty copy on this.
Can I roll over? I ain't gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna hurt
You
nobody.
got anything on you? No.
Did you just heard that? I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt nobody.
I ain't got nothing, man. Phone, that's it. I ain't mad. I ain't nothing. Just make sure that dog don't come out. I don't think he'll bite you. Just don't reach for him and try to grab him and pet him. He won't bite you.
What's going on, man?
Nothing. Can I stand up? It's kind of uncomfortable.
I'm going to
I
get
ain't
you
gonna
here
do
in a
nothing. I ain't running
second.
away. You can do whatever you want.
Here. You the only one else inside the house?
What?
You the only one else inside the house?
Yep.
Sit down right here.
My daughter, she ran over to the fire department.
Sit down.
It's my stepdaughter.
Put him in the cage.
Listen, look.
Well, that's pretty heartbreaking, ain't it?
Yeah, and just she's saying, you know, he took my whole life from me, you know, and that's the first time I've seen this. So I hadn't seen this video till just now. Just so
You know, and I didn't hear about it for a couple of days. I'll be honest with you, with so many things going on. But when I did see it, it was like I noticed that it's being talked about in mainstream media, maybe a couple people online. I just felt like it needed to be talked about because, you know, we cover the mob here. And we cover very violent men that have done very bad things. But I cannot, as bad as these gangsters are and the things they did, I cannot think of any gangster ever doing anything like this.
No, I mean, they typically don't do that to kids or family. I mean, or kids and women normally, but
They do in Sicily, but that's Sicily.
yeah.
And just think about this, people. This coward didn't even do a murder-suicide. I mean,
Why
At
didn't you
least
just,
kill yourself. Now you got
that's
to
what
put
I
us
don't
all through
understand.
you feeling sorry for yourself and crying. He was crying in court when they gave him the $20 million bail. He was there crying.
Yeah, and so, what he did was he wanted his stepdaughter and his wife to just suffer. He wanted them to see what he did, and that's that's not uh, unspeakable.
And here, think about it. Here's another thing. They say that he was planning this for months. Is that correct, James? So
Yes,
he was with this girl for years.
yes.
Uh, and I'm going to put something up, and I'm going to read it to you. I know you guys may not like my reading, but I have to read this to you. And
Behind closed doors, you don't know
I'm
what
guessing
type
that
of.
they've had issues up before they got married. But how many people live together and get married and stuff like this doesn't happen, but it
No,
just
no, they
doesn't
were
work out.
together 7 years, and then they get married, and this happens, within 5 months of
But see, that's the
getting
one thing I
married.
don't understand. It says that in 2019 they got together. So I'm not going to even try to do the math there.
Yeah,
Something doesn't make sense there, but uh, you're hearing the media and stuff. So we'll just let them speak about that and the actual truth come out. We're not going to be like these other channels on here on YouTube that just put out whatever they want and they start trying to make conspiracy theories. We're just gonna, and there's gonna a lot of true crime shows do that on here. Uh, so, this guy was arrested, and he goes into court, and he gets $20 million bail, and he starts crying. Family members were there; they were prepared to. Three members with money were prepared to put money to bail him out.
Mm.
Uh, and as you could see, they're not going to ever let him out of his cell in prison because he's going to be the most wanted man in prison, just like the creep out in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, they have him on. Looks like on bulletproof vest, right? Protective
Yep.
vest. He's on because not a
Yep.
popular guy, and and what's bad is that they call it familicide or parricide. This happens too often, not to this degree, but there was a case in North Carolina in January where a guy killed his wife and 3 kids, but then committed suicide. Normally they'll kill themselves, and
And there was a
so
case just recently of a woman doing it, killing her family. A matter of fact, the church that held the for this one, they held some type. I don't know what you would call. You can't call it anything, I guess. Um, Especially just a couple days later. I don't even see like people getting together. You know, this is such a horrible thing. People have to mourn in their own way, and uh, unfortunately, you're going to have uh, shows on YouTube all over the place tear the father apart now of this very horrible man,
hmm
and I could see that coming.
right.
So, people, I'm gonna I'm gonna put up the let's see, and you guys can do what you want. We don't want any donations in this show, please, people. If you're gonna do anything, make sure that you send it to this right here, which we're gonna put up. Help my sister bury her children. And my sister lost 3 amazing babies yesterday. Nothing will make this better. It will never be okay. But please, if you can find it in your heart, relieve the financial burden of this tragedy. Please donate. No one should have to go through this. So far, they've raised over $250,000. And people might say, well, that's a lot of money they've gotten. No, you're talking about 3 funerals. You're talking about a family that's been wiped out. Who knows what the financial situation was? Who knows if this was financial? This was just everything happening that they decided to, that the husband decided to do
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Some
Nobody knows.
things you can't. Yeah, some things like this, there's no explanation for it. It's just evil. It's just evil, pure evil, and you know,
And so people, like I said, no donations accepted at this show. But we will ask you to please sub to our show. Please hit the like button for this. This is something we don't want to put up. We're not putting this up for views or I just told them to sub. Well, sub, please. Because we're not going to get into covering this. Some people get into this stuff and for a year they'll cover it. That's not our, we put it up. Who knows, maybe one time down the road. But right now we're just going to keep it like this. Right, James?
Yeah, exactly. So we wanted to put it out there and, that's what we wanted to do.
And remember, people, this man right here is pure evil. You cannot describe it any other way. Not only did he destroy his father's life, his children's lives, his wife's life, her family's life, but he also destroyed those cops that had to come up there and see that. That's something that will never erase from those cops' memories, ever.
No. I mean, that's true. Imagine the, PTSD. We know one of the officers hadn't even came back to work yet. I mean,
and during the bail hearing, the district attorney spoke about those officers and what happened to them and how there's a lot of sadness in the police department, especially for the people that had to come there and leave those babies on the lawn because of crime scenes, and they just left them there for a while. I mean, and all these cops had to witness this. And these are cops that are all fathers. None of them. We're talking. This is an area where crime is very low.
Yeah, exactly. That part of Ohio isn't. It's not known for crime, and it's the police officers. I have to commend. They did they were very professional with this. They did what you're supposed to do. Apprehend. Active shooter situation. They apprehended the shooter, and then immediately they're trying to take care of the victims, and then you had a dog in the background that they let the dog alone, and all that. I thought that
says a lot about the police officers right there. They could have put that dog down the minute they walked on the lawn.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I mean, that dog could have been a bad threat because and can you imagine that animal? That dog is gonna never be the same. I mean, nobody's gonna ever be the same here. Nobody. This is stuff that we will think about. I mean, when you see this type of level of evil, and that's what it was, a level of evil. With that, people, I'm sorry, James, why don't you finish this off?
No, I was just saying, and then let's think about the daughter that's the stepdaughter that's still alive. She was running down the street at this moment, when this was happening, yelling that her father was killing everyone, and so she's going to be devastated, and she is devastated. She's young, and so maybe the mom and the daughter, they've got to live. So whatever money that they're getting, it's not, it's nothing compared to the grief and the sadness, and their lives are shattered forever.
And we're going to learn a lot more why this. Well, there's really no reason why. We're gonna find out more in his sick mind why he did this. A lot of times this is the mistakes people make. They don't walk away. I'm not going to blame the woman because this may have been a domestic battery issue. We don't know. They did get married, like I said, this year after being together for several years. With that, people, I just like to say, like I said, very sad story, but we had to put it up. James, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And you take care of yourself. Bye.
Take care.